In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys what is the best possible team for limited season 4 and week 5 in NBA 2K23 My Team. As you guys can see, these are going to be the game requirements on the screen. You must use at least one crossover series theme card in your lineup. I'll show you guys which type of cards are those. Those are basically just the celebrity cards. And then the other requirements is you may use up to 4 amethysts, and then obviously no free agent cards are allowed. So for the crossover series player, that's just going to be one of these celebrities. So if you go to your spotlight challenges, you can see the football crossover. There's Debo Samuel, Dak Prescott, and Jalen Ramsey. So if you want to get one of these three cards, you have to use at least one of them in your lineup. I mean, neither of these guys are really anything good, but just make sure you have one so you can throw into your lineup. And then they also have the J. Cole and the Jack Harlow, and the J. Cole and the Jack Harlow. I thought there was somebody else, but maybe that was last year. So yeah, J. Cole and Jack Harlow, the other two celebrity cards. You just want to use one of those 5 players. You have to. I'm not saying you should, but you kind of have to use one of those players in your lineup. And then talking about the other cards I'd recommend using, let me just go make a limited lineup here real quick. So we're allowed to use 4 amethysts, which is not a bad amount. I mean, there's a lot of good amethyst cards in the game, especially that just came out today, with the new alter reality packs. So the point guard I would use is either Donovan Mitchell or Kevin Porter Jr. or even Penny Hardaway as well. I think he's a point guard. Yeah, I mean, Penny Hardaway is actually not that bad as well because he's 6'7", has an 85 3 ball, and it's Penny Hardaway, so he's still going to be, a really good point guard. He might honestly be better than a guy like KPJ. So I'll let you guys decide who you want to run between KPJ and Penny Hardaway. I think for me in the meta of the game, I'd probably go Penny as a little bit better of a point guard, and then at the shooting guard spot, especially next to Penny, is going to be really nice. Who is this Wesley Person card? Because he's super nice on the offensive end, he's going to be probably our main ball handler and the guy that we go to a lot to score the ball. You can also run KPJ at shooting guard if you want some more offense as well, but Penny Hardaway at point guard, and then Wesley Person at shooting guard. Now skipping over to our power forward, I do think probably the best amethyst power forward in the game, or at least one of the best, is going to be the new amethyst Anthony Davis. Now he isn't going to be anything too crazy, but he's 6'10" and has some very good all-around stats. Like these new amethyst cards from today, the Penny Hardaway, the Anthony Davis, even D-Mitch is very solid as well. So Anthony Davis is probably the power forward recommend using, and as our third amethyst. And then our final amethyst, I think this one is pretty obvious. It's going to be the amethyst Taco Fall. I mean, he just makes such a difference in limited, being 7'6", having like an 8'2" wingspan. He's going to be such a good interior defender. He's such a good shot blocker, and is pretty much unstoppable in the offensive end. And him and Penny Hardaway, that pick and roll is going to be super hard to guard in limited. A 6'7" point guard and a 7'6" center, in the pick and roll is going to be really tough. And then you got Anthony Davis and Wesley Person to be more of your offensive guys that could shoot. But all around, these are the 4 amethyst cards I would use. Gary Payton II's not bad. KPJ's another good option. Donovan Mitchell. There's obviously a lot of good amethysts, but I think these are probably the 4 best. And then for that small forward spot, there's a couple different sapphire and ruby options you can go to. I actually think the best option is a sapphire, and that is going to be this Donyell Marshall card, because he's a sapphire. He's nothing too crazy, but he's 6'9". He has an 84 3 ball, 80 mid range, and I've always liked using this card in limited because he kind of reminds me of like a James Worthy. A James Worthy type of player, and his jump shot is very, very similar. So for a sapphire card, he's going to play good defense, be able to drive to the rim, and if he's wide open, which will probably just be sitting in the corner, if you got guys like Penny Hardaway or KPJ and you have like Wesley Person, he's not going to be handling the rock, and he's not going to have to really guard anybody. So he'll just sit in the corner and make wide open threes. Now off the bench is where you have to use rubies and below. And for the point guard spot, honestly, I think Ruby John Morant is still a very, very usable point guard. I still think he's really good at getting to the rim. For your shooting guard, I probably recommend using James Harden. Also for point guard, if you wanted to go with like Emmanuel Quickly, he's actually probably a little bit better than Josh, so we'll go Emmanuel Quickly as the point guard. You can use some of these like ice cards. I don't remember exactly what they're called, but you can use like the James Harden as shooting guard. You can also use maybe like a Jaylen Brown at the shooting guard, at the small forward spot, because he's tall enough and has a good enough defense to play small forward. For your power forward, I mean, you could run like a Tom Chambers or maybe a Wendell Carter Jr. I'll kind of let you guys decide with the rubies, and then you obviously have to use one of those celebrity cards. You don't have to start them. You don't actually have to play them in your 10 men. You can just kind of throw them on the bench. So to find these cards, what you want to do is go down to theme, and they'll probably be in the crossover set. You guys can see I have Jack Harlow and Jermaine Cole, J. Cole. So I'll show J. Cole in the lineup here in the 13th man spot. And then yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. That's the starting lineup I'd use. That's the 4 amethysts. And then for the rest of the rubies, you guys can kind of figure out some really good, duos. I know a lot of you guys know a lot about duos and stuff like that, but that's pretty much what I would run. You can obviously search through your like rubies and your sapphires and see what cards you really want to run, but for me, I'd probably just run that starting lineup and then just have like a couple rubies off the bench, and then I just put like the rest as being golds. This is what I would do personally. If you want to, find the next best ruby card or sapphire, you guys can go ahead and do so, but I think the starting lineup is all that really matters for limited, being able to get those quick quits with having, Taco Fall, Anthony Davis, Wesley Person, and Penny Hardaway. But hopefully you guys did enjoy. Let me know what team you guys are gonna be running for limited and some other changes and really good players for this week's limited. Let each other know in the comment section down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.